Samantha Orton is filling in for Kathy Helbig, but by no means is she second string. Good morning, Samantha Orton.
Good morning.
All right, Kathy is on her honeymoon and wedding and everything else. What's going on in real estate?
Well, I want to talk about today. There's a couple things that agents don't know about or that buyers don't know about that you can do to set yourself apart whenever you're in a multiple offer situation.
All right, what do we got?
A lot of times it's more than just price. So you can have the perfect price, you can have the perfect closing date, some great contingencies in there with your loan commitment and things like that. Remove your home sale, but there's things that people aren't doing to set them apart. Because we get 5 offers at one time, all the same price, all the same closing date. But the seller gets them, and they say, well, how are these any different?
So it's kind of like asking one person to the prom, and they get 5 offers to the prom.
5 offers.
All right, what do we do?
Well, the first one that's most important that you can do in the beginning as a buyer is ask your agent who you should use as a lender. Because a lot of people will say, I'm pre-approved with my big bank. Well, when that big bank pre-approval comes in, the listing agent looks at it and says, well, it's really not worth much more than a piece of paper it's on. I don't know if that lender is really going to follow through. I don't know who this lender is. A lot of times these agents are connected with lenders that we all know, that we get that pre-approval and we feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Really? That's interesting.
And a lot of those lenders that are local lenders, they'll answer the phone at night when you're making an offer and they have a question about price. So they really do, in the end, help you out much more than just the lending process.
Okay.
And then the second one, that's a big one, is when you're writing your offer, don't put in ridiculous contingencies about a fence where you say, I want to make sure that I can get a white fence. You can walk out in the backyard and you can see 3 white fences.
Right.
You can get a white fence. As long as it's not a deal breaker for you, I wouldn't put it in there.
Okay.
Because if it's not a deal breaker for you, it's probably going to be a deal breaker compared to the other offers.
It's just cluttering up.
It's cluttering up your offer.
Okay.
And it's making it appear as if you're harder to work with.
Okay.
And then the last one, a really big one, is making your offer personable. And a lot of people will say, like, I write a letter, put a picture of my buyers in there, tell them why they like the house. You know, there was one recently that she loved the garden in the backyard. She came from a small town where she loved gardening. That was the reason why the seller picked our offer.
Was it the highest offer?
It was not.
Really?
It was close,
Yeah.
but it was not. But she had a personal connection to the fact that my buyer came from a small town. She was a first-time home buyer, saw what she looked like,
Right.
saw what her kids looked like, and said, she's going to garden in my garden that I created.
And this house that I've loved for all these years will be taken care of by the next person.
Yeah.
I could see that.
It's really
and that
interesting.
is a huge thing for most people. I've heard it more times than not that they say, I picked your offer not because it was the highest, not because it was the best, but because my seller had a personal connection.
Something they
It's
related
interesting
to.
because I left a note to the buyer, the person who bought my house in the city. I left him a note, a bottle of wine and 2 glasses and a nice little note.
Oh, that's nice.
Never heard anything from him.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, total bummer.
Oh.
Yeah, I left a picture of me and somebody else who had lived in the house like 50 years before.
That's awfully
And said,
nice.
yeah, here's, the house has good karma for you.
For the person that you were buying, like they were buying, you left it
they're
for
buying
your
your house.
seller.
I left it for the person who was buying my
okay.
house. I left it for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they snubbed me.
You didn't
See?
hear from them.
Yeah.
Personal connection is huge.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Samantha Orton, that's good stuff as always. The market still booming?
Still booming, yeah.
Yeah, all right, good.
You got to separate yourself. So.
We'll let you get back to work. 314-276-SOLD or KathyHelbigGroup.com. Let her full team help you out buying or selling. They know all the tricks of the trade. They'll get you to the finish line. KathyHelbigGroup.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
746.